This video is sponsored by Eufy. Hi everyone, Chris here, and I have with me the latest Eufy all-in-one robot vacuum cleaner. It's called the Eufy X10 Pro Omni, and there's some key upgrades compared to the previous model. We now have 8000 PA increased suction performance. It does have now a Pro Detangle comb built within it, and what this does is make sure that that main brush, which is now using bristles and rubber sweepers, doesn't get stuck with here. It has their AIC Smart Obstacle Avoidance, and it can detect up to 100 common household objects. So we're talking about USB cables, shoes, child's toys. It will go around those when it detects them, including even things like, yes, dog poop. And I'll be putting that to the test as well in this video, see how it performs. And we have our Omni station right here. So the Omni station now also empties out our dustbin, the internal dustbin from our robot vacuum cleaner into a large dust bag that's 3 liters. Now, depending on your household, that means that you don't have to touch any dustbins or anything for up to 60 days, which is really good. We've got our clean and dirty water tanks, and it goes in here and scrubs and cleans out the mops, and it does dry them at 45 degrees. Now, it is using Mop Master 2.0. This is an upgraded system now, so it does apply 1 kilo downwards pressure when it goes along scrubbing the floor. It has mop lift, which is 12 millimeters. It'll lift up those mops, and they do spin at 180 revolutions per minute. And it also does have their edge hugging system too. So it'll go up there and get really close to the edges now with those mops, just to improve the edge mopping performance. So I'll be testing it all out. I'll show you what this robot vacuum cleaner is all about in this video. So this is what you will find in the box. Our Omni station, the Eufy X10 Pro Omni, power cable, safety information, and a little ramp for the Omni station. So up the top we have the iPath laser navigation, so that is LiDAR that it's using. 3 physical buttons along the top, so we have the home mode to send it back to the Omni station for self-cleaning and emptying, power on and off, spot clean button, and if you keep holding that, that puts it into the child lock mode. The dustbin, if you decide to manually empty it yourself, well, it has a capacity of 330 milliliters. It's very easy to remove, but most of the time, you'll let the auto empty station, the Omni station, do that work. And the filter, it's a 2-stage one. So we have, this is the final stage, the filter. Now it can filter out particles as fine as 0.3 microns. That's absolutely tiny. So dust, pollen, mold, bacteria can filter that out. And you can see the first stage just right inside here, which is a very fine mesh. And they are, of course, washable filters. Looking at the front underside now, so we do have our downward firing sensors, so it can detect any drops there. We have our active detangling roller brush now, so this is the big change with the Eufy X10 Pro. Now, very easy to open this up for maintenance, as you can see, and we've got bristles and the rubber sweepers here. Now, the brush here, the active detangling part, is this. You can see it's got this, what looks like a little comb here, and that is going to stop all the hairs getting tangled up in those bristles. And right here up the front, there is a carpet detection sensor. Then Mop Master 2.0, as I talked about in the intro there. So these mops are microfiber. You can easily remove them for further washing and cleaning or replacement, held on with Velcro, and you can just pull them right off too. They're stuck in place there with magnets. It's easy just to lift them off if you wanted to do so. Now there is an internal tank which is 80 milliliters, and it's going to continue to keep wetting those mops, and they do spin at 180 RPM, applying 10 newtons of downward pressure, which is the equivalent of about 1 kilo of downward force. You can see here the mop lift in action. So it's 12 millimeters, it lifts them up, and because of that internal water tank, it can go for 20 minutes of mopping continuously, whereas the previous version had to go back and re-wet those mops and clean them. So it's a big change there. Now you see at the back here we have the 2 contact points there for charging. This is where it refills that internal water tank. And thanks to this time of flight wall sensor on the side, it can do what is called a V-shaped deep wall cleaning. So it gets those mops as close as possible to the wall in conjunction with that sensor. The X10 Pro Omni can handle climbs of 20 millimeters. And the part I like the best is the AIC. So it's got obstacle avoidance algorithm and a color RGB camera, as well as an LED here. So it can work in dark situations. That'll come on to light up the area. Now it can recognize over 100 plus obstacles, like shoes, for example, some rubbish on the floor, wires, and I'll be putting that to the test later in this video here. And you can also customize that obstacle avoidance. Now, the images it captures, they're all local, okay? They're not being sent off to a server. It's all kept and done locally, this obstacle avoidance, which is great. Then the Omni station. So this is where it will go back to clean those mops at 45 degrees with warm water, self-empty, and of course, charge itself. The right side is where you will find our dustbin. Now the capacity of this dustbin, which by the way is self-sealing, when you remove it, it seals itself off, is 2.5 litres. And depending on your household, this means it can last for up to 60 days without you having to empty it. The clean water tank is located at the left front and the capacity is 3 litres. They've got a nice little handle here, handhold, so very easy to remove those for filling up that 3 litres of water. The dirty water tank, located behind it, has a capacity of 2.7 litres. Inside the Omni station here, you can see the contacts there where it charges up. This is where it empties out the internal dustbin to the main dustbin here. And the washboard area where it scrubs and then dries those mops at 45 degrees, well, it can be removed for easy maintenance. You simply just need to pull up on that and it slots right out for cleaning. Then the application, which is called Eufy Clean. Now you get notifications when it does finish cleaning, for example, and I'll just enter in and show you a few things. So right here you can see the map. Now you can save various different maps with this. You can clean by home, room, and you just select the order you want it to clean, and zone. You've got zone cleaning too there as well. You can edit the maps. There's a lot you can do with this. So I'll just quickly cover it here. Just briefly so you can see the most important things about it. So you've got your standard cleaning intensity, deep, the mop or vacuum mode, so you can select to just vacuum or just mop. The amount of times to clean, suction, so max, that's the 8000 PA. The water level and edge hugging mopping if you want that feature too as well, which gets in really close to those edges there. So there's a lot in here, and under the settings, cleaning history, schedules, manage your maps, base station settings so you can have auto empty, the drying time, washing frequency. Should last for 20 minutes with that built-in 80 milliliter water tank anyway there. You have manual controls of it and a lot of other settings there. So the voice settings, the AIC settings too as well. Real obstacle photos. If you wanted to, you can take photos. You can have that enabled and you can view them. But I haven't had that turned on. And again, that's all locally, so it's not going to be sending anything over to the servers or anything if you're worried about that. And last thing here, if I just get out of this, go back to the main menu here of our Eufy Clean app, you've got your post-meal clean. You can add full deep clean, daily clean there. And these are different scenarios that you can make up. So your own custom scenario, which is a nice handy feature there. So there's a lot in this application. All right, so we've seen all of those features. I've showed you what it is all about, but how about that cleaning performance then? So I've been using it now for a week in the house, let it go around, do its thing, and it is really good. So first you can just get it to map out a floor, and you can save various different floors too with a multi-floor mode. It's very quick at doing so. And then it goes around the outer edges, cleaning first and zigzags back, going along and cleaning. So it's all pretty standard there. And it will go under chairs, tables, beds, around everything. And it also will go along mopping too. You can set that up as you want. Now, my mop test here that I always do with my robot vacuum cleaners here, what I do is I mix some coffee with some dirt. It's a tablespoon in each of these tiles here, white tiles, and I just let it sit there for about 30 minutes. It's baked on, it's dried on there. It's a very stubborn stain. And what I'm trying to simulate here is if you spilt some coffee and you didn't clean it all up. You had some little patches left over that you missed. Well, this is how it's going to clean now. So the X10 Pro Omni did a really good job first pass, getting almost everything, as you can see. Really good. And I let it have a second pass. I always let these robot vacuum cleaners have another go at it. And the second pass, it got absolutely everything. So impressive cleaning performance with the Mop Master 2.0 system. And you'll see that there's a couple of specs there. Now, I just wanted to point out those are actually chips in the tiles, so there's no way it's going to be able to get rid of that. So very good mopping performance. And what about obstacle avoidance system? So the AIC, it can detect up to 100 different obstacles. And again, I am really impressed of how this worked. It saw everything. It saw the USB cable. I also put down a little small doggy poop. So it went around the dog poo there, and it got very close to it, but it did not touch it. That is the main thing. It did bump into the shoes a couple of times. That shoe, it pushed it a tiny little bit, but it was very good at avoiding those cables. Both of those cables detected them. The black cable, the white cable. Child's toy, definitely saw that, went around it. So very good there with its AIC obstacle, smart obstacle avoidance. As for my vacuuming test, so I set it to the maximum level, which is the 8,000 PA. That's a lot for a robot vacuum cleaner. And on the carpet here with my little test setup, cornflakes, a lot of cat fur, long hair, and just some other little bits of dirt and dust and things, and set it to clean. And again, I give it the 2 passes. So it was in their more deep clean mode here. So it went over, it first got most of all of the hair and everything, and then on its second pass going over all of it, that's where it goes back in the other direction. It's very thorough in doing so. Takes a bit longer in the deep cleaning mode, but it really did an impressive job here. Got absolutely everything almost. On closer inspection, you can see there are a couple of little bits that it did leave behind between the layers of the carpet there, but it basically did clean around 98%, just leaving a few bits there. So very impressed with its carpet cleaning performance. So once it has done that, of course, it's going to go back into the Omni station. So this is where it's going to empty out that dustbin. So this is the dustbin here. Before it goes into the Omni station, you can see it's full of a lot of muck here and everything. Let's have a look and a listen to what it can do and how it works. And here is the end result. The dustbin now you can see completely empty. There's just some very, very fine little dust particles. And then the mops, of course, it has to clean those. So this is what the mops look like before I do the test here to send it back and have it clean them. You can see that even though the mops are a dark blue, that's looking a little dirty here. It's a bit hard to pick up because of the darker color. So going back into the station here, this is where it will go up, and it will scrub those mops out, rinse them, and suck up all of that dirty water. And here is a sample of what it sounds like when it's in action doing that, and I'll show you the end result too after this. So it does make a few little gurgling noises. Again, that is pretty normal because it's sucking up all that wastewater. So the mops now, they look a lot cleaner. They look almost brand new. They're a little bit damp, but that's not going to be a problem because it will sit in here now for 3 hours drying those at 45 degrees. So it'll dry those mops out so they won't smell. They won't have any mildew, bacteria, anything like that either. And you can also set with the application that time to be 4 hours if you want it to be a little bit longer if you're in a cooler climate. And then the wastewater, well, I tipped that out just to have a look. I was curious to see what would the water look like, and it was filthy, very dirty, that wastewater when I tipped it out. And what about our Pro Detangle comb and the brush? How did that fare? Is there some hair stuck in it? So on close inspection, looking at it, after it's done all the cleaning, all the tests that I did with a lot of hair, a lot of cat hair, there is one strand I can see in there. So that's pretty good because other robot vacuum cleaners would just be absolutely chocked full of long hair because I have 3 ladies in the house, well 4 if you include my cat Vera, so that's a lot of fur and hair to contend with, and it did a good job there. Pretty much ticks all boxes there with the Mop Master 2.0 system with the improved suction performance wow of 8,000 PA. It really does cover everything at a fantastic price point, being under 1,000 US dollars. Now I do have a link in the description of this video, so do make sure you check that out if you want to find out more about the eufy X10 Pro Omni, and any discount codes will also be in that as well. And thank you so much for watching this sponsored video here